There's a version of you right now, breathing the same air, who is fragile, distracted, afraid of pain, and allergic to discomfort. That version must die. You must kill that weak version of yourself before it kills your potential. This isn't motivational fluff. This is modern Stoicism, where we combine ancient wisdom with psychological warfare to build men of stone, not sand. If you're tired of soft habits, emotional weakness, and aimless days, you're in the right place. Welcome to modern Stoicism. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because here we don't just speak about growth. We declare war on weakness. Section 1. Identify the weak self. You can't defeat an enemy you refuse to acknowledge. There are two versions of you. One of them is a predator. The other is a parasite. They live in the same body, but only one of them gets to control your future. Let me introduce you to the weak self. He's subtle, manipulative. He's been with you for years, whispering in your ear when no one's looking. He says, "You've worked hard. Take a break." This doesn't matter anyway. Tomorrow will be a better day to start. He hides behind logic, behind fake kindness to yourself, behind words like balance, rest, and self-care. But his real mission is this: to keep you soft, passive, and forgettable. He wants you scrolling instead of building. He wants you consuming instead of creating. He wants you apologizing for wanting more out of life. This weak version of yourself is not just lazy, he's dangerous. Because his voice feels familiar. It sounds like your own, and that's why he's hard to kill. He wears your face. Let me make this clear. If you don't actively identify, isolate, and kill the weak self inside you, he will win. And if he wins, you don't just lose success, you lose honor, purpose, soul. Comment this below right now if you're ready to draw blood. I killed my weaker self today. No one's coming to do this for you. Your friends won't notice. Your family won't understand. This war is personal. You fight it in the early morning when no one's watching. You fight it when the bed is warm, but your goals are burning holes in your chest. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius didn't become an emperor by doing what felt good. He became great by going to war within. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's what modern Stoicism is about. Not quoting quotes, not journaling about dreams, but declaring war on the parts of you that are keeping you small. You've been giving that weak self room to live. You've fed him with procrastination. You've clothed him in excuses. And you've let him speak for you in moments that mattered most. No more. From this moment forward, he dies daily. Every act of discipline you take is another knife in his side. Every push-up, every uncomfortable truth spoken, every decision to act instead of delay, it's a bullet in the brain of who you used to be. That version of you, he's already dead. You're just now burying the body. Comment again if you're truly ready to bury that version forever. Today, the old me dies. And don't forget to like this video if this hit home. This channel, Modern Stoicism, isn't for the weak. It's for the few who are ready to turn discipline into their religion. Subscribe now and turn on notifications, because the war has just begun. Section 2. The Stoic Weapon, Voluntary Hardship. Train your mind to love the fire, and you'll stop fearing the burn. In a world that worships comfort, discomfort becomes your edge. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, woke up each day reminding himself, "You will meet people who are selfish, arrogant, and cruel. Prepare your mind." Why? Because preparing for hardship on purpose makes you untouchable when it arrives. Modern Stoicism is built on this same foundation. We don't chase pain for the sake of suffering. We invite discomfort because it strengthens us. Every cold shower, every difficult conversation, every hour spent training when others sleep. That's you training to kill the weak version of yourself. This is called voluntary hardship. It's your secret weapon. See, most people are only strong when the conditions are easy. They're lions in sunlight. But a modern Stoic, he's made for the storm. He's forged in fire. And that doesn't happen by accident. It happens by ritualized resistance. Let me ask you this. Do you go to the gym when you don't feel like it? Do you sit in silence with your thoughts instead of numbing with distractions? Do you choose discomfort when comfort is right there, begging you to settle? If not, you're feeding the weak self. And every time you feed it, it gets stronger. Every "just this once," every "I deserve a break," adds muscle to the part of you that wants to stay ordinary. Voluntary hardship cuts that muscle away with precision. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, wake up 1 hour earlier, take a 2-minute freezing shower, do 30 minutes of focused, difficult work without distraction. No excuses, no negotiation. Do it because it's hard, not despite it. Let me be clear. This isn't a motivational trend. This is ancient warrior wisdom. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoics, slept on the floor and fasted regularly to remind himself, if I lose everything, I will still have myself. That's real power. Because you can't scare a man who chooses discomfort every day. You can't break someone who's been training for war during peacetime. Comment below again if you're still with me. Comfort is the enemy. I choose the war within. Let the algorithm show this to the others like us, the ones quietly building their empire. If you felt this, if something in your chest said yes, then like this video right now. It tells me you're part of the movement. It tells me you're not just watching, you're becoming. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This is modern Stoicism. We're not here to escape pain. We're here to weaponize it. Section 3. Use dark psychology on yourself. Control your mind, or your mind will control you. You already know the weak self must die. You've started forging yourself through discomfort. Now, it's time to take it further. This section is not for everyone. This is where we step into the shadow, where you learn to manipulate your own psychology like a weapon. You've heard of dark psychology, how it's used to influence, deceive, control. But here's the twist. What if you used dark psychology on yourself? What is dark psychology? Dark psychology is the art of exploiting weaknesses, fear, desire, doubt, to get results. Most people are victims of it. Ads manipulate their insecurities. Social media engineers their addictions. They're puppets, jerking every time the algorithm pulls the strings. But a modern Stoic, he sees the strings, and then he grabs them and uses them to control himself. You already have powerful triggers wired into your brain. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, desire for significance, the need to win, to dominate, to prove. Most people run from these feelings, but you weaponize them, turn fear into fuel. The fear you feel of being average, of wasting your life, of dying with regret. That's not weakness. That's your fuel source. When used correctly, fear sharpens focus, increases adrenaline, and removes hesitation. Start visualizing the worst-case scenario vividly. Picture being stuck in the same place 5 years from now. No growth, no respect, no legacy. Make it so painful in your mind that your only choice is to move. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Good. So suffer in imagination now, so you don't suffer in real life later. Fear becomes a weapon when it's no longer something you avoid, but something you summon. Use guilt as a lever. Guilt is another dark emotion most try to escape. But you amplify it. Use guilt as a self-imposed punishment mechanism. Didn't keep your promise, didn't train today, didn't execute. Then you feel it. Don't numb it, don't justify it. You let that guilt burn a hole in your soul until it becomes unbearable. Then you channel it into aggression. Not at the world, but at your own laziness. You become your own judge, jury, and executioner, and you never miss twice. Comment below if you're ready to turn darkness into discipline. I weaponize my weakness. Let the others see you. Let the algorithm spread this message to those who are ready to control their minds, not be owned by them. Use ego to your advantage. They told you ego is bad. They lied. Controlled ego is a form of fuel. You think a warrior walks into battle thinking he's average? Number. He thinks, I am the storm. I am inevitable. You build that ego, not on delusion, but on evidence. Every day you follow through, every day you keep a promise, every uncomfortable task you complete. You earn the right to see yourself as a killer. You don't bury your ego, you discipline it. It becomes a voice that says, I don't skip, I don't quit, I don't settle. And if you break your own code, that ego punches you in the mouth and reminds you who you're supposed to be. This is how you use dark psychology to become dangerous, to your excuses, to your doubts, and to your weakness. Like this video right now if you're ready to stop being the puppet and start pulling your own strings. Subscribe to Modern Stoicism and turn on notifications, because we're just getting started. Your evolution is a war, and now you're learning to fight dirty with discipline. Section 4. Kill the need for external validation. If you crave applause, you will always be owned by the crowd. Look around you. Every post, every video, every opinion, crafted not for truth, but for approval. Hearts, likes, shares, applause, validation has become a drug. And most people? They're junkies, addicted to the opinions of people who don't even know them. But here's the Stoic truth. If your sense of self is built on what others think, you don't own yourself. You're just a mirror, reflecting whoever happens to be standing in front of you. And that, my friend, is spiritual poverty. Let me make this simple. External validation is a leash. Every time you ask, do they like me? Every time you hesitate to speak because of how it might look, you tighten the chain around your neck. That's not freedom. That's slavery with good lighting. A modern Stoic doesn't need the crowd. He walks through fire alone, if that's what it takes to stay in alignment with his mission. He doesn't speak to be liked. He speaks because it's true, even if his voice shakes. External praise is just noise. The Stoics called it empty clapping. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, wrote in his private journal, not for the world, but for himself. It makes no difference to a rock whether it is praised or cursed. That's power. That's emotional sovereignty. Imagine being that solid, unmoved by criticism, untouched by compliments. Imagine never needing to post something and check if it's doing well. Because you know you did well, regardless of who noticed. This is your next evolution. You don't need to be seen. You need to be real. Comment this below if you're ready to detach from the crowd. I no longer serve the applause. Say it, declare it, because this is the exact moment you take your power back. Build an internal scoreboard. Most people wait for the world to approve before they move. Not you. You build a scoreboard inside your own mind. You don't ask, did they notice? You ask, did I execute? Did I stay in alignment? Did I win the war within today? That scoreboard is sacred, and the only person allowed to see it is you. When you kill the need for approval, you become unbreakable. You're no longer for sale. You can't be swayed, manipulated, or emotionally hijacked by trends or opinions. You become something rare, a man with conviction, and conviction is terrifying to the masses because they can't control it. Like this video now if you're done chasing validation and ready to become your own standard. Subscribe to Modern Stoicism and turn on notifications. This is the battlefield of the soul, and you just learned to walk through it without needing anyone to clap. Section 5. Rebuild with rituals of power. Once the weak self is dead, something stronger must rise in its place. You've killed the weak self. You've burned the mask of validation. You've started using pain, fear, guilt, and discipline like blades in your personal war. But now comes the next phase, rebuilding. Because destruction without construction is just chaos. Now, we replace the weakness with rituals of power. Behaviors so disciplined and consistent, they become your identity. Let me be clear. You don't rise by accident. You rise by ritual. Ritual over motivation. Motivation is a visitor. It comes when it wants, leaves when it pleases, and never calls back. Ritual. Ritual is a soldier. It shows up no matter what. A modern Stoic doesn't wait to feel like it. He acts because he said he would. He builds iron habits that run automatically, like a war machine. Want to know how to rebuild yourself? Not with dreams, not with speeches, with rituals like these. Morning war council. Before the world touches you, you touch your mind. 5 minutes of silence. No phone, no noise, just breath and clarity. Ask, what's the one thing I must dominate today? What weakness will try to stop me? Who must I become to defeat it? This sets the tone. You become the commander, not the follower. Pain-based practice. Every day, do one thing that makes you uncomfortable. Cold shower, hard truth, difficult workout, high-pressure task. That pain, that resistance, that's the forge where your new identity is being built. Most avoid it. You seek it. Non-negotiable work blocks. Choose a time. Make it sacred. No distractions, no compromises. Even if you don't feel like it, you sit and you grind. Not for results, but to keep your word to yourself. Because self-respect is built through follow-through. Night audit. At night, you don't scroll. You reflect. You ask, did I win today? Where did the weak self try to sneak in? What must I tighten tomorrow? You don't close the day until you've learned from it. That's what warriors do. They study the battlefield. These are your new commandments. Not suggestions, not habits. Rituals, unbreakable, non-negotiable. They turn you from a wandering soul into a force of nature. Remember this. You will not rise to the level of your goals. You will fall to the level of your systems. The weak self was addicted to feelings. The powerful self. He's addicted to structure, discipline, inner law. Comment below if you're ready to rebuild from the ground up. I rise through ritual. Let the others know you're not here to play. You're here to build, to dominate, to evolve. Like this video now if you're done winging life and ready to engineer it. Subscribe to Modern Stoicism and turn on notifications. Because rituals are the religion of the elite. And your new identity is forged, not found. Section 6. Become your own judge, jury, and executioner. When you stop looking for approval from the outside world, you become your own final authority. It's time to take full control. By now, you've killed the weak version of yourself. You've rebuilt with rituals of power. You've learned to manipulate your own psychology for success. You've detached from external validation and crafted the life you want, not the one handed to you by others. But there's one final piece of the puzzle: the power to judge yourself, punish yourself, and execute your own justice. This is the ultimate freedom, the ultimate form of self-mastery, the power of judgment. Most people live in a world of endless excuses. They blame their circumstances, their genetics, their upbringing. They live in a world where others hold the power to validate, criticize, or reject them. Not you. You've stepped into the arena. And in your world, the only voice that matters is yours. When you look in the mirror, there's no one there but you. The question is, who are you to yourself? Are you the kind of person who lets failure slide? Are you the kind of person who lets mediocrity win? Or are you the kind of person who holds himself to a higher standard and ruthlessly enforces that standard every single day? Become the judge of your actions, your discipline, your effort. No more waiting for someone else to tell you that you're doing well. You know whether you're winning or losing, and you hold yourself accountable to that truth. The role of the jury. Your judgment alone is not enough. You must become the jury, holding yourself to a higher standard than anyone else ever could. The jury does not pity. It does not excuse. It is not interested in your feelings or circumstances. It sees only the facts. Here's the hard truth. If you didn't perform at your best today, you're guilty. If you let excuses dictate your behavior, you're guilty. If you didn't honor your rituals, your time, your word, you're guilty. And guilt is power. Why? Because guilt forces you to take action. It forces you to correct yourself or suffer the consequences. When you hold yourself accountable in this way, you are no longer at the mercy of others' opinions. You are your own arbiter of truth, the executioner. Now comes the hard part. You, as the executioner, must enforce your judgment. No mercy, no negotiation. You must punish yourself when you fail to meet your standards. This isn't self-harm. This is about creating real consequences for your laziness, your procrastination, your mediocrity. What does the execution of failure look like? It could be a punishment as simple as losing a privilege. Maybe you take away something you enjoy, social media, food, entertainment. Or maybe it's as severe as an extra hour of work, a higher intensity workout, or even a complete restart of your day. The key is to feel the cost of your failure, so that next time it won't happen again. The executioner is ruthless. He doesn't care about your excuses. He doesn't care how tired you are. He cares about one thing. Did you follow through on your commitments? If not, there's a price to pay, and that price ensures that you don't make the same mistake twice. You are the law. The power to execute judgment without mercy means you no longer wait for someone else to tell you what you should do. You become your own law. Your actions are governed not by emotions or impulses, but by iron discipline. Imagine the power you hold when you are not swayed by the opinions of others. When you live by your own code and your own standards, with the unwavering commitment to punish yourself when you slip. That is unbreakable power. This is the ultimate Stoic principle: to live in accordance with nature and reason. To accept the harsh truths about yourself, judge them objectively, and enforce change with ruthless precision. The final call. The war is over. The weak version of you is dead. The rituals of power are in place. And now you have mastered the art of self-judgment and punishment. There is no more waiting for approval. There is no more hesitation. There is no more excuse. You are the judge, jury, and executioner of your life. You live by your own law, answer to your own standard, and execute without mercy. Comment below if you're ready to rule yourself with absolute power. I am the law. Like this video if you're committed to becoming the ultimate version of yourself. Subscribe to Modern Stoicism and turn on notifications. Because the journey from weak to powerful has just begun, and we will walk this path together.